Hey guys, it's Alex here for another video. I have been becoming kind of a watch geek. It all started when my grandfather, who I affectionately call Abu, gave me his Rolex on my birthday a few years ago. And ever since then, I have been, I was always a car guy, so I was always kind of fascinated by the mechanical specialty of cars, right? Watches in a very similar way do the same thing for my brain. Like, they get me excited about it. I'm obsessed. Okay, so as of today, it is March 8th, 2023. I have 9 watches. Okay, now these watches were all acquired within the last 2 years. None of them are of any particular expense. It's not so much about that. Acquiring a watch is sort of a sentimental decision, in that I try to associate it with a goal or something that's going on in my life, or some sort of place where I want to wear them. Okay, so the very basic watch I'm starting off with, what I actually have found this watch again recently. Okay, this is a Casio WR A158W. This is a very classic watch from Casio that they came out with kind of when quartz watches were becoming, and digital, watches were becoming very popular. This one is not in a basic setup. This is in a stainless steel, fully, I call this an integrated band. You can put this on or integrated bracelet. You can put it on a lot of things, but it's a very classic shape. It's probably a watch that you've seen throughout your life and didn't even notice because it's so everywhere. Okay, this watch usually runs literally from 20 to, you can get really fancy ones for, maybe $80, but why? This watch was maybe in the range of $35 to $40. And it's incredibly practical, incredibly thin, incredibly light. You barely even feel it, but it does what you need it to do. It can set an alarm. It's got a little bit of a backlight, which honestly is pointless, but you don't really need it. That was a long story about a watch I just found. So first I'm going to overwhelm you by just showing you the whole watch box, and then I'm going to talk about each one. So this is my watch box, and count this one in, right? So a lot of different watches here. I'm gonna go into watches I've been wearing the most lately. The decisions that go into my watches lately are not always aesthetic, it's practicality. Okay, so I'm gonna put them both up. This watch is a Timex Expedition Indiglo WR50M. I got this watch because I kind of fell in love with that field watch, that kind of military-esque watch. And you see it's got that orange second hand and the indices over the 12. It very much is, it's got a olive band, very military decision. Okay, very inexpensive watch, but it's actually not that inexpensive. I want to tell a story about this watch. Last year, for either Christmas or my birthday, my uncle gave me a gift card, and my uncle, I call him Padrino. Okay, so Padrino and I, we have a lot of similar interests. Jeeps, we've got hunting, shooting, fishing, some of that, that kind of stuff. And so when he gave me a gift card to Amazon, actually, and the family, the Perry family gave me that card, I went and I added this to my collection. And when I wear this, I think about that, of course, but I also find it a really practical watch. If I had $1 million, I'd be spending it on a Hamilton khaki field watch. I really like the brass finish that they're doing right now, but this was a very nice placeholder for a field watch that I think resembles the Perry family and some of the things they're into pretty well. Okay, now this watch, very different. Okay, let's get up to the camera there. Can we get a good zoom? This is a Seiko 5 automatic, okay, and this one is what I call the avocado. Let's see if you can, I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up because I'm awful at anything with cameras. Okay, so the bottom line is, look, this watch is special to me because I was looking for a green dial, which is right here, and this watch has a cool dial because it's like an avocado. You ever see the texture of the exterior of an avocado? It has that pitting, kind of like that skin. This dial is green though, with that kind of pattern. Pretty cool. Automatic watch, nice display back. Would look good on a bracelet too, but again, this is a watch I wear to work. So the NATO strap is very practical, feels really good. You know, you can be pretty active outdoors, whatever, it doesn't matter. This band is gonna feel comfortable no matter where you are, okay? I'm going to talk about a brand that probably a lot of people kind of don't like. And I'm going to talk about why I like them. So this is not a brand that I buy because it's a prestige or anything like that, okay? They get a little bit of a bad reputation because some people say they do homage watches, you know, that look too much like something else. Okay, so here you go. I'm gonna try to be still. This brand is Stour. Okay, now when I buy a Stour watch, it's not so much because of the complication of the, you know, watch. It's more about, in a very specific way. Sorry, check a battery. A type of dial I'm looking for. Particularly, I look for them in terms of different kinds of calendar complications or something like that. These two watches are very clearly, to me, like Rolex, I don't want to call them rip-offs, but inspired pieces. Now they do unique things for Stour themselves, so I can consider these their own watches, okay? They're not enough like a Rolex that you're ever going to be surprised that it's a Stour, okay? You put it on, it doesn't feel like a Rolex, but what it does is for a absolute fraction of the cost, you can get a very nice, like in this case, this is a very nice watch with a tachymeter dial, pardon me, the tachymeter measurement around the exterior of the dial, that gives me a little bit of a black Daytona. It's not though, okay? Rolex would never do the dial exactly like this. It'd be deeper detail, but I'm not trying to be a Rolex, okay? It's not about that. But I wanted this kind of watch. $25, okay? I bought it on the secondary market, but for $25, I feel like there's a lot of value in a watch like this. I don't care what somebody else looks at my watch box and says, sees how much money there is there. It's more about a look. Okay, this one, again, this one I would say does a lot more to look like a Rolex than it needed to, but I'm going to talk about independently things on this watch that I like unique. Okay, so it has a pearl white dial, which you can sort of see the sheen of it. It gives a very blue to white sort of, and there's a little bit of a pink in there sometimes. This is cool. Now, the sub dials are not really, they don't really stand out in the big way, but there is a silver finish around them. And then I like this one on the bracelet too. I have a bracelet for this watch instead of the NATO strap, but this is neat in terms of a watch that's pretty bulletproof. Case is very simple, hard to knock it around. Okay, this is nice, automatic. Okay, and then you've got yo, Alec,